Hi and welcome to part 2 of my parquet flooring project. Today's good person to know is Milovan Lovic. He is founder of Swedecraft and I'm very fortunate to be able to have Millie in my studio today.
We'll talk you through her project, which I found very interesting and challenging.
But before Millie does that, I'd like to explain why I got Millie involved in this project, because I just couldn't do it myself. You know, I did think I could try, and then when it came to it I just thought, and I bought all the materials that I needed, and I called, we went on to Rated People. There's no plug here, by the way. I'm doing it because that's how I managed to find such a fantastic guy. Before we go into how we actually did it, can I ask you, why did you take on this project?
When you told me that you fitted it yourself, then I thought, brave woman, I would like to say. Very brave. And the first impression was that I've seen a lot of my colleagues do the same thing as you've done, but to a lower standard.
Oh, thank you. Okay, but I think it's time to explain what you did in the actual parquet flooring project and the steps and process that you took.
So the process is like this. I had to start with the sanding paper of grit 36.
Grit 36.
Yeah, that's kind of 36 sand particles per inch.
Is that a lot or a little?
It's very little, it's a coarse one.
Okay.
So, and your floor was very hard in itself. The material was very dense.
It was hardwood, I believe.
Oh yes. And it's rainforest wood as well. So yeah, grit 36.
Do you have to know about the different kinds of wood?
Yes, you need to know which one is rainforest, which is not, because of the minerals in the wood.
And so that depends on how it's treated, is it?
Yes, and how you need to work it as well.
Okay.
Because rainforest wood has a lot of minerals in them, and that makes blades of sewing machines blunt. It makes the sanding paper blunt, and it's harder to work with than oak, for example. I needed to sand your floor 3 or 4 times with that one.
Yes.
To start off with.
When Millie was actually starting it, he says, "Do you want to have a go?" And I'm thinking, this machine's too heavy, I just can't do it. It really was so strong and powerful. And you need to be able to know how to do what you're doing, and I didn't know what I was doing. So Millie showed me what I needed to do, and I attempted it, and I was walking with this very, very heavy machine, and it was frightening. It was almost like, oh,
it was pulling you, wasn't it?
It was pulling me, it was dragging me. I felt like there was this huge dog that I just couldn't control, and it was going off at a tangent. And I tell you, it was so difficult, but I'm glad I tried it, because I was 100% sure that I made the right decision to spend quite a lot of money to get you to sand it.
In order to get rid of the scratches which the 36 makes, deep scratches, you need to use a 50 grit. And I used a 50 grit 4 times again.
Wow.
So it's not 50 square meters when we're talking about the surface. It's how many times I need to sand the floor itself. So it comes up to some 800 square meters for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking from that perspective. After the fine sanding, we have gaps. That always happens. It happens to me as well.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
The difference is...
I didn't know what I was doing.
The width of the gaps themselves, actually. I fill the gaps for you using a resin and the sanding dust itself from the floor to make it look even. And then I need to fill it again, and a 3rd time. Then I sanded it, and the sanding uncovers where the floor needs more gap filling. When I come to the gap filling and all that, I'm not trying to make you as a customer happy. I need to make myself happy first.
Right, okay.
And to do it to my standards, which sometimes it's obsessive.
I was amazed at the kind of commitment that Millie had when he was doing this flooring, because like he quite rightly said, it's not about satisfying the customer at this point, it's about satisfying himself, knowing that he's done the best job that he can possibly to have a beautiful floor. And I will show you the end results, but I just wanted to go through the detail of what you had to do. So after you've done the gap filling, what was next?
Well, the next thing is to use the 100 grit paper to make it, to sand it down finely, to get rid of all scratches. And why I'm using 100 and not 120, for example, is that I want the application of whatever treatment you want on it to stick better to it.
Ah, so now that Millie's done 800 metres of walking around a football pitch and also gap filling, are there any other further steps?
It is. We always have scratches because the herringbone pattern is, when you sand it along the grain on one block and across the grain on the other block.
Oh, nice, that's right.
So then you need to buff it to get rid of the scratches from the
opposite direction.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's a circular motion actually of the machine.
Yeah.
With a nice sanding pad actually. So you do it that way.
So is this a sanding pad or what is the buffing machine? I mean, why is that process so important? And don't a lot of people not buff? Because they think all they have to do is sand and then varnish, but
yes,
actually there's this process in between.
It is, and to get rid of the scratches across the grain, you need to buff the floor. With your floor, since it's rainforest wood, mineral rich and all that, we need to have a primer coat in between the wood and the water-based sealant that you choose. It's crucial. This treatment is actually the most important stage to finish off a floor. It will last you for at least 20-30 years.
Wow.
If you don't apply any varnish on top, the floor will start to disintegrate and you will have the grain will just, the wood itself will just start to splinter. I applied 1 coat of the primer for you and 3 coats of the water-based sealant.
Okay.
So if I applied more than 3 coats, it would be too soft. So you will just have scratches and dents and all that. So it's a very delicate balance between to have the thickness between the wood that carries the weight and the sealant that protects the wood.
So now you know the process that Millie took in order to get from where I had laid it to where he had varnished it. And as you can see in the next few slides, just look at what Millie did to this floor. It completely cemented what I visualised when I wanted to get this parquet flooring. So thank you so much. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Millie to me is an absolute gem. He is so passionate about his work. You know, when you need to get a professional in to help you do a project, just think about the skill, the tools, and just the level of experience that goes into making something so beautiful. So I hope you enjoy this video and thank you for watching.